Hey everybody! So you may have noticed that I have not been streaming. This is hard. So you might have noticed that I haven't been streaming like the past week, or maybe it's been more than a week now. But I haven't streamed in a while, and I haven't been on social media or Discord or updating my stream calendar. I'm really sorry that I kind of left without warning, but I made this video to kind of explain where I've been and what changes I'm going to make to my stream and my community moving forward and my life in general, just to try to simplify things and try to put me in a healthier place so that I can provide better content for you guys for a more sustained period of time. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's really good.
Alright, so I'm just going to start at the beginning of my life. I guess I should start by saying that I've been my mental health hasn't been that good for a really long time. And I don't know why, but as far back as I can remember feeling this way is when I was 14, 8 years ago. I started having suicidal ideations and just not really knowing why I felt that way. Just usually at night is when I really got the urge to end things. Oh god, this is hard to explain. I noticed I became really easily overwhelmed by small things, and I think a lot of you can relate to this, but really small obligations felt like mountains to me. Like having to make a phone call, or having to do the dishes, or having to write a message to someone. Like the smallest thing, I would build it up in my mind bigger and bigger, and to the point where I felt like it was a disaster, like it was too much, like I couldn't handle it, and I felt like the only option was to kill myself a lot of times, or just avoid life altogether, or hide away and avoid my responsibilities. And that's something I struggled with for a really long time, and it's actually a miracle that I even stuck with streaming as long as I have for the past 3 years. It's seriously a miracle because I'm a notorious quitter. Everything in my life that I've ever started, I've quit within a year, or most of the time within a month. But that's kind of what kept me going with streaming. Just the fact that it was the one thing I didn't quit, and it made me feel really good about myself. Felt like I was doing something positive with my life and I had a purpose, and that's why I keep going every day. It's like to hang out with you guys because you're all so awesome and you all inspire me every day that I hang out with you. So that was the one thing I never wanted to quit. That was so important to me, to never quit that, because if I quit that, then I felt like that proves I'll never be able to not quit anything if I can't quit the one thing I love the most. Or if I do quit the one thing I love the most. Fast forward to about a week or so ago, but right before I disappeared off the face of the earth, I was getting really bad. Really bad. Like every night, or every time, all the time that I was off camera pretty much, not streaming, I was just a disgusting Smeagol. Hygiene was something I completely dropped. That's one of the big signs that I'm going into a depressive episode, I guess you could call it, is I completely disregard hygiene because I don't have the motivation to clean myself. Like, it was to the point where I was just playing Hearthstone all the time, like 10 hours straight, and I didn't get up to go to the bathroom. I pooped my pants, and I sat in it. I didn't have the motivation to get up and change my pants after pooping them. And I didn't shower. I didn't wash my clothes. Yeah, I didn't do anything. And I was also avoiding all my responsibilities. All the things I promised I was going to do, like make bookmarks for book club, and plan events for the stream, and things like that, I had just been completely avoiding and not doing at all. So that was eating at me too, because I knew I shouldn't just be playing Hearthstone and avoiding all my responsibilities. And the more I did it, the more miserable it made me, because it made me hate myself more that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. And it was just getting to the point where every night I was like, I really want to kill myself. Like, I really want to do it. Finally, like, I've been wanting to do this for 8 years. I should just do it. And I was thinking about, like, what stops me? What's been stopping me from doing it all this time? And it was every time I felt like I was ready to do it and I wanted to do it, I would overthink it. And I would think of all the people it would hurt. I would think of, you know, how it was selfish and just the effect. I would think about the effects of people who cared about me, and I couldn't do it once I thought about that. So, but this one night, the night before I disappeared, was the night that I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I know it's something I've been wanting to do for 8 years now, and if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna have to not think about it, because if I think about it, I won't be able to do it. So, I was really set on it, and Mike kept asking me, my boyfriend Mike kept asking me, like, are you okay? Is everything alright? Like, I don't know, trying to get me to open up, I guess, because I guess I didn't seem okay and I wasn't. And I confided in him how I was feeling. And I wasn't really thinking straight when I was doing it. I was kind of just, I was expressing, like, that I wanted to kill myself. But he's like, no, don't worry, I won't do anything, which I stupidly believed. And I was like, yeah, don't make any calls or anything because I'm not going to do it tonight. I kept promising him I wasn't going to do it that night. But I guess he didn't believe me because, like, an hour or less than an hour after I said goodnight to him, there was pounding on my door. And at first, it woke me up. And I, like, froze, and I was like, I hope that's for the next door over, because I live in a complex. I was like, maybe it was just for the next door over, and I waited. And then it got so loud, like, boom, 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 boom. It scared the heck out of me. It sounded like they were breaking down my door. So, at that point, I jolted out of bed. I don't know what I was possessed by. There was no point where I got out of bed. One moment I was laying down, the next moment I was in the hallway. It was that fast, because I was so scared. And I was starting to, like, hyperventilate, because I was like, oh god, because I hadn't, like, formed the actual tangible thoughts yet of what was happening, but my heart already knew what was happening, because it was racing. And I have a window right by my door, and when I walked by, I saw 2 police officers through the window, and that's when I put it all together in my head. I was like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, Mike called somebody. I was so freaked out and scared. I don't know what I was afraid of. I don't know what these police officers were going to do to me, but I was terrified. And I opened the door, and it was 2 female officers, and they were really nice. They were like, do you know why we're here? Is everything okay? They're, like, asking me questions, and I was like, yeah, everything's okay. I'm fine. You know, I was just talking to my boyfriend about some feelings, but I'm totally okay now. Like, things are cool. I was trying to get them to go away because I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want police officers at my place. I didn't want to confront the issue. Because I had told Mike before, like, Mike always tried to encourage me to get help for my depression. He encouraged me to go see somebody or talk to somebody, like a professional. And I always said no, 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 because to me it didn't feel worth it, because I knew that managing depression and any mental illness a lot of times is a lifelong battle. Like, you don't just go in and get cured. You go in and you start working on a plan to get better, and you keep working on that your whole life, was my understanding. And that didn't sound worth it to me. Like, to me, I was like, work your whole life to get better? Kill yourself? Like, which one's easier? That was my thought process. So I didn't think I wanted to get help. But the police, they kept asking me more and more questions about what happened. And eventually they wouldn't leave. And eventually they were like, do you want to talk to somebody, like a professional? And I had always said no, no, no to Mike or Liz or any of my friends or family who had told me before to get help. I always said no. But when I had the police officer standing there right in front of me saying, do you want to talk to somebody? It just felt like the opportunity was right there. I wouldn't have to make any calls, wouldn't have to look up any doctors. I could just say yes, and it was easy. I was like, okay, yes, I do want to try. So I was like, okay, so I agreed to get help. Now they'll leave and I can go about my day and, you know, start planning that. But they didn't leave. And I was like, oh, you mean right now? So once I realized they meant right now, they were like, no time like the present, like we gotta go now or you'll never do it. And I knew they were right. And I was honestly actually really relieved that they said right now, because I knew if it wasn't right then I would never do it. So I was like, okay. I went and I put on some clothes and I got in the back of a cop car. It was really hard. The seat hurt my butt. I've never realized, if you've never been in the back of a cop car, they are not comfortable. It's the hardest plastic seats ever, and I hit my head on the top of the door frame going in, so it was all around a painful experience. But yeah, they drove me to this place, and I was thinking like, okay, the only reason I agreed is because I was thinking, it's early in the morning, it's like 7 a.m., I'll have time to talk to somebody, develop a plan to get better, and then get back in time for my stream. And stream Half-Life for Nadia. That's what I was thinking. I didn't realize that I would not be back or have access to my cell phone at this point. But anyways, I'm jumping ahead of the story. So they take me to this place. It looks like just like a tiny little building, kind of like prison-ish almost. Like there's a buzzer at the door, and there's like 3 sets of safety doors, like so people don't escape, I guess. Like they have to come and unlock the first door, and then you come in, they close and lock it, and then they have to unlock the second door, that kind of thing. So I was like, oh god, am I arrested? Like, where am I? I thought I was gonna come to a cozy therapist office, sit on a sofa and sip some hot cocoa and talk to somebody. But I get into this place, I'm in like a waiting room area, and everybody in the waiting room looks fucking sad. Everybody there. I looked fucking sad. I was sad. We all looked really sad. Like, everybody looked like they'd been crying for the past 10 years of their life, and we probably had. And it was very cold. The chairs were plastic, and it was kind of scary feeling in there. I don't know. But yeah, I sat in the waiting room for a while. They gave me flip-flops to wear because they took away my shoes, because they had laces, and they took away my jacket strings, and my phone. Yeah, they took away all my belongings, basically. They just robbed me, and then they put me outside and said, go home. No, they took away all my stuff and locked it away. And then they did a body search, so it was like a strip search. But I got lucky because I know some people have really invasive strip searches in this situation, but the lady who strip searched me didn't really make me take off all my clothes. She just kind of was like, look at your shirt, let me see your stomach, okay, let me see your bag, you're fine, like that kind of thing. So thank God for that. I was really lucky. But yeah, after that I sat down, I waited for a while. I got this call from a lady who said, we have a bed available for you at a mental hospital, would you like to be transferred there? And I was like, oh, I thought I was gonna talk to somebody, what's going on here? Like, and so she talked to me more about what was going on, and she said, and I talked about how I wanted to try medication, and she said that being hospitalized for like an emergency situation was the fastest track to getting on medication for depression and anxiety. And otherwise I may have to wait like 3 months or something. So I was like, okay, let's do this. I'll voluntarily sign myself in. So she's like, okay, great. We're gonna do we need to send a van for you, or do we need to send an ambulance for you? And I was like, a van, please. I don't need an ambulance. I'm fine. I'm totally cool. So she's like, all right, we'll send the van over. It'll take about an hour. And we'll bring you over. I fall asleep on the plastic chair because I'm so tired. I only got less than an hour's sleep last night. I am exhausted. Like, I wish you could see what I looked like at this point. I was a pile of trash on the sidewalk. I looked fucking like I got ran over 4 times in a row. But anyways, I slept on the hard plastic chair for a while. And when I woke up, I hear wee, and in comes barging in, running in, like a freaking emergency. these two ambulance people, these two medics with a stretcher, a gurney. And I was so scared. I was like, oh god, this is the most humiliating experience of my life. Like, other people in my room were just sitting there like, I was perfectly fine and able-bodied, and they were like lifting me into a stretcher and strapping me in front of everyone. And I was like, I don't know, should I like lay down and act like I need this? Should I like be sitting up more? Like, I don't know what I should be doing right now. But anyways, I rode in a very comfy ambulance to a hospital. And along the way, I have so many people asking me what happened, why I'm there. When the police asked me so many questions about what happened, and then when I got to the first place, I had two different people asking me to tell them everything that happened, and then the ambulance driver and the ambulance medic asked me to tell them everything that happened. So I had repeated my story a million times at this point. Like, no, it was an emergency, no, I didn't attempt. I was just thinking about it. I was asked if I wanted help. I said yes. I didn't know it was going to be this big, extravagant emergency situation where you're putting me in an ambulance. And so yeah, then I get to the hospital, and the hospital people are asking me the same questions. Did you attempt? Why are you here? Why are you strapped to a gurney? What's going on here? They put me in this floor that's kind of like a little scary. Like, it's kind of like a mental asylum from movies, where it's just, they take you to your room, and it's all white. It's a small, all white room, and the only thing in it, nothing else, no wall fixtures, no furniture, all there is this very low bed, like almost just like a mattress stuck to the ground, and that's it, nothing else. And it was creepy, but I was like, well, there's nothing else to do, so I guess I'm gonna sleep. And the good thing was I was freaking tired. I went to sleep again, and I just kind of, like, up to this point, I was kind of worrying, like, oh god, am I going to get back in time to stream Half-Life for Nadia? And things like that, like, am I going to be stuck here for a while? And then, by this point, when I got in the room, I kind of stopped worrying about anything. I was just like, I'm just going to let whatever happens to me now happen to me and see where this takes me. I just forgot all my responsibilities, and I just went to sleep in that bed. And I woke up later. This lady came in to talk to me, the millionth person to come talk to me and ask me what happened. She was asking me the same kind of questions, and then she asked me, like, did you have a plan? How did you plan to kill yourself? Like, had you thought of that far through? So I told her that my original plan, or the plan I always kind of had floating in my head for years and years and years, was that I would drink bleach. That was, it seemed the easiest to me because there was bleach in the house and it just seemed easy to do. And that was what I had almost done when I was closest to attempting before. But this time I started having worries, like, because I looked up online that drinking bleach or household cleaners is only something like 77% successful, and I was really freaking scared about messing up my body or something and then surviving through it and just making my life more miserable. That's what I was really afraid of. So I had a new plan that I had come up with the night before I got admitted. I was going to buy a gun because that was the fastest way to kill yourself, the fastest, easiest way to kill yourself with the least agony and the least chance of it not working. So it's really easy actually to get a gun in Florida. Well, at the time I was like, I'm so lucky I live in Florida. Now I'm thinking I'm really not lucky that I lived in Florida. But yeah, I was looking it up. You can just order a gun online. It's not that hard. So I was looking into doing that actually before I got taken in, before I fell asleep and was taken to the hospital. So I told her that, and she was like, okay, we're gonna transfer you up to the 5th floor. I didn't know what the 5th floor meant, but it sounded ominous, so I was like, alright, I'll prepare myself for the 5th floor. And then she left. And then I went back to sleep. They woke me up, they moved me to the 5th floor, they checked me in, and it was kind of like, it was less hospital feeling. It felt more like a little community of patients, like more like, it was more relaxed, and we were allowed to walk around and mingle and stuff more. I mean, we still weren't allowed to have any of our belongings. I wasn't allowed to even keep shampoo in my room. I had to go ask for my shampoo, and then I only had a limited amount of time to use the shampoo before I brought it back. And they checked on us in our rooms every 15 minutes, especially though I was so annoying throughout the night. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, I don't even know where to start. There was mostly old people. I was one of the youngest people there. It was mostly 40, 50-year-olds. And then there was one other guy that looked around my age. He had like a flannel shirt on, he was playing guitar, and they let him use his guitar for a little bit. And I was like, okay, seems cool. I'll see if I can be friends with that guy. Actually, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. When I first got there, I didn't want to be friends with anybody. I was like, I want to be left alone. I want to be by myself. I found the crossword book. I started doing crosswords in the corner away from everybody. And at this point, I was still stinky as hell and in a hospital gown and not in a proper situation to be within 5 foot of another human. I wasn't ready to socialize yet, but I did take note of the fact that there was one person that seemed around my age and seemed cool. But yeah, then they took me to my room. I was like, heck yeah, I have my own shower. I can shower. Little did I know there was no toiletries in there, so I couldn't shower yet, and I had no clothes. But yeah, I just did crosswords for a while. Yeah, and so the first day I was there was kind of just saying to myself, like stressing, going back and forth between stressing about the fact that I wasn't streaming and no one had any explanation of where I was or why I wasn't live, and then disconnecting myself and being like, I can't control it, I don't care, I can't worry about things I can't control, and just that kind of back and forth. And then the night was pretty bad. I really wanted to kill myself that night. I was thinking like, oh, how can I do it? There was no way. They took away all my streams, everything. Like, there was no fixtures on the wall. Like, there was no way. Besides just running into the wall as hard as I could. That was not, sorry, it's not a bad joke. There was no way. So I just had a miserable night that night. Just not good. Not good. But things started getting better after that. Every day that I was there after that first night was better. And that was the only night that I thought about killing myself the whole time I was there, which is saying something because before I came there, I thought about it almost every night. At least a little bit. Probably every night. But yeah, so the next morning I wake up, I kind of just follow what everybody else is doing. You go to breakfast, you go to a morning group where you talk about your goals for the day, what you want to accomplish that day, and it could be super small. It could just be like, eat all 3 meals today, anything. And then at the end of the day, we meet again and talk about if we accomplished them and stuff. And I thought that was really cute and cool. But yeah, like throughout the day, we basically just had a bunch of group therapy sessions. And that's pretty much it. There wasn't really one-on-one stuff. Like in the morning, we would meet for like 5 minutes with the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist would prescribe us something, and then we would go into our groups for the rest of the day. And my favorite group was in the middle of the day, we got to go outside. And I ended up loving that because I've never been an outdoorsy person. Like you guys know, I spend all day in front of my computer screen. That's all I do. But it felt really good to go outside. Every time they were like, who wants to go outside? I was like, me. I want to do my crossword puzzles outside. So yeah, that was really fun, going outside. And it felt really good to not have my phone, actually. Like, for anyone who knows me, especially in real life, you know, I'm always glued to my phone. And I hate it when people point it out. I hate it when my mom says I'm addicted to my phone, but she's not wrong. it's obsessive, and it's like this anxiety thing, like, especially because my life, my career, everything is online, like with my stream and my community, and it's really like a 24-hour job, because even when I'm not live playing games, there's always something to do, there's always people that I need to respond to, there's always things I need to check on, and it's really easy when I don't set boundaries for myself, like from this hour to this hour I'm not going to do any work or deal with my stream or anything, then it's easy to just let it consume my entire life. So that's really, it was really weird to disconnect from that and to just be forced not to worry about it because I couldn't do anything about it, and it felt really good actually to do that. And it allowed me to step back and think about things because I wasn't in the middle of all of it, and I wasn't feeling overwhelmed, and I wasn't feeling like there was no hope. I was able to look like kind of just apart from it, from an outsider's point of view almost, and see what's wrong with my life that's making me feel so miserable all the time, and what can I do to change that, and what can I do to simplify my life so that I can continue to do what I love to do, which is stream and host a community that I believe in. But without it overwhelming me and taking over my entire life. So the groups and stuff and the psychiatrist meetings, like they were all nice and they helped, but what helped the most was just having that space away from everything to think and self-reflect and develop a plan. So I started like writing out all the things I wanted to change when I got back, and a plan to have a happier, simpler life moving forward, because my stream had gotten to a point where everything was very structured, very, I had lost a lot of control of my content, I felt, of my own choosing. I had started perks like game choice tokens where people could pick what game I would play, overtime tokens where people could extend my stream. And you know, I always felt like I wanted to do more and more and more, give more control to my audience, my community, and like do everything that I was asked to do and try to just overextend myself, providing and giving up that control. So one of the things I wanted to do was take back control and play what I wanted to play and when I wanted to play it. So one of the big things I decided to do is I'm getting rid of my stream calendar. And I know that the stream calendar is really useful for you guys to be able to predict when I'm going to play certain games and come for the games you want to see and special events and all that kind of stuff. But what the calendar did was, well, first of all, it was upkeep, you know, to create the calendar, update the calendar, and plan that kind of thing out. That was work in itself. And second of all, it was giving me a source of anxiety and dread, because sometimes I felt like I wasn't in the mood for the game I had scheduled for that day, but I had to push through anyway, because that's what I had scheduled, that's what I had planned. And I really want to switch to a system where I go live and I play what I feel like playing that day. And I think that will just take so much anxiety and dread and lack of control away and replace it where I'm just going back to streaming games I love, doing what I want to do, and truly just enjoying myself. And I think that'll help you guys enjoy yourselves more if I am enjoying myself more. And I think it will just be healthier for me. So that's why I'm getting rid of my stream calendar. I'm still going to be doing weekly summer parties, but I'm actually changing the way I'm doing that. I think that the 7-hour streams were just too long. Was it 7 hours?
Usually more.
Yeah, the 7-hour plus streams, because Saturdays are the days overtime tokens get used. 7 to 10 hour streams every Saturday. It was too much for me, especially after a full week of streaming every day. Like it takes a lot of energy to stay live that long, and it wasn't something sustainable for me. So, and I love the summer parties, so I'm not getting rid of those. What I'm doing is I'm getting rid of that first part of the stream. Instead of having this weird system where I have like week for the first part and then a 30-minute break and then the summer party, I'm only gonna do summer parties on Saturday. But they're going to be a little longer. They're going to be 5-hour stream like my weekly streams. The summer varieties will now be 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. EST. So it's the same as my weekday streams, just shifted 1 hour later. And the reason I want to end it at 11 is because instead of midnight is because I kind of expect overtime tokens to be used those days, and I want to plan for being able to get to bed at a more reasonable hour, because that's another thing that was hurting my mental health was my sleep schedule. So yeah, that's one change that's gonna happen. There's a big change that I've been actually kind of scared to say because I don't know if people are gonna be really sad about this, but one of the biggest changes that I've decided to make is to completely get rid of the inventory system in GetBuildBot. And I originally wanted to make the inventory system as a way that, you know, non-donors and non-subscribers can still have a chance at getting these perks of game choice tokens and overtime tokens and all that stuff with just by coming to the stream a lot. But what happened is like I said earlier, it took away a lot of the control of my stream from myself because so many more people were making overtime tokens and game choice tokens, and I found myself very frequently, like 3 or 4 times a month or more, streaming games that I didn't want to play or having to buy games that I didn't want to buy. And it became a lot. And I was streaming longer hours, and it became a lot to deal with, and it kind of complicated the stream. It made it a little more intimidating to new people to the community because there was all this stuff going on that I didn't understand. Even the people who were regulars, it was a little confusing and overwhelming to use. It wasn't super user-friendly. It was just a lot, and I really want to get back to simplifying my stream and making the stream about the game and about us hanging out together and not all these chat mini games and things like that. Because sometimes I would look in the chat and, you know, like the chat would just be GetBuildBot commands and like people trading inventory items and things like that, and that's not really us communicating, that's not us getting closer and having a good time together, that's just junk in the chat. And I just want to scale back my whole stream and simplify things and take it back to what it originally was supposed to be, which is just us hanging out together, having fun, and watching a video game. And another way I want to take it back to that is I'm simplifying my overlay a lot. Right now, I have a lot of things on the screen at once, so I can't make the gameplay as big because I have Doodle Demolisher. That's the main thing that makes me not be able to make the gameplay as big as I'd like to make it. So I'm gonna get rid of the constant on-screen Doodle Demolisher. It's still gonna be there, but it won't be constantly on screen, so that I can just have the game completely full screen so it's more immersive for you guys, and just simpler and easier to watch. It'll just be my cam, and then the giant cam, and probably like the top donor and recent subscriber or something like that. And doodles will still be able to be submitted, but I will take time at the end of the stream to go through all the doodles and laugh and talk about them and show them on screen. But yeah, I think that'll help also simplify things and really like be able to give me the stream I kind of always wanted to have. So those are the main changes. Did I forget anything? So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of changes to the stream, and some of them I think might make some of you sad, and I'm sorry for that, but I think overall these changes are gonna be a really positive thing for you guys too, because I think I'm gonna be a happier person, and I think that's gonna translate to my content, and I think it's gonna make my content better, I hope. So I hope you guys will be excited about the changes as well, and I think some of you will be excited about the change in overlay, even the bigger gameplay and the simplification of some things that are going on in the stream, and kind of bringing the stream back to its roots, to use an overused phrase in gaming, and just simplifying things. So yeah, that's my focus now that I'm back, and that's not the only thing I'm doing. Like, I'm not saying my mental illness is cured now because I'm simplifying my life. I'm also on medication now, which I'm really excited to try. I've never tried medication before, and I'm hoping it can help. I know it's not going to be the only thing to change everything, but I'm hoping in conjunction with simplifying my life and my stream, and with trying to go out and walk more and get outside more, that medication can help me. I'm on Lexapro, which is an antidepressant, and yeah, I'll let you guys know how that goes, because apparently it's not supposed to do anything for the first 3 weeks, and you know if it's gonna start to work or not. And I'm only about a week and a half in, I think, so I don't know if it works yet, but I'm hopeful. And the other part of my plan is I'm starting to see a therapist that my mom sees, that my mom recommended to me. So I went to my first session, and I really, really liked her. She's so nice, and I think it's gonna help me a lot to be able to go talk to somebody. Even though I thought I would never ever want to go to a therapist, I always thought I won't know what to talk about, I won't know what to say, it's gonna be a waste of time, I won't be able to open up. But the therapist I saw is awesome. She's the sweetest, most approachable person that's so easy to talk to. And she really seemed to understand things I didn't expect her to understand, because I had anxiety about talking to an older person about what I do, what constitutes my entire life, which is Twitch, streaming, a lot of online things that older people don't understand. But it wasn't that hard to explain it to her. She really got it. She was really had some insightful things to say about it. So I'm so happy about that and thankful that I found her. So yeah, that's my plan. Simplify my life and stream, start medication, get outside more, see a therapist, and also Mike moved in with me, which is a huge change. Mike came down, he was originally coming down to visit, and he was like, can I just stay? And like Liz thought it was a good idea, my family thought it was a good idea, I thought it was a good idea. Everyone thought it was a good idea, so I'm really excited. I'm going to be living with Mike now, and he's going to be helping me stick to my plan. He's going to help me by holding me accountable, making sure I'm actually doing the things I need to do to get better. So I really appreciate Mike for that. He's behind the camera right now. Thank you, Mike. But yeah, that's my plan moving forward, and I really wanted this video to be a positive video, even though I talked about some stuff that was kind of sad and not as positive. Overall, my experience this past week or so has been really positive and helped me more than I can say. I already feel like I'm in a completely different spot than where I was before I went to this mental hospital. And I'm just really thankful for the support system I have in my life, and all of you guys being so patient and so supportive. One of the most moving things that made me feel so loved and so good was while I was in the hospital, Mike brought me a list of messages from you guys that he printed out, and it was so sweet. And I don't know, I thought like I was scared that people would be sad that I was gone and that I wasn't streaming, but everybody said the same thing. Everybody said, take your time, we'll be here no matter how long it takes you to get back to a place where you're healthy again. And it felt really good to know how much you guys care, so thank you for that. I really appreciate it. It made me feel really good, and I can't wait to get back to streaming when I'm ready. And the thing is, I didn't want to rush myself. I didn't want to make the mistake of getting out of the mental hospital and immediately jumping right back into the same routine in life that I had before, and then getting overwhelmed and falling apart again. So I'm taking it slow. I'm using these few days. I just got out like 2 days ago, and I've been using these days. I've been staying disconnected from the internet. I haven't gone back to it yet, but I'm starting to feel ready to go back to everything, and I really don't want you guys to worry, and I don't want you guys to wonder about if I'm ever going to stream again, because I am. I really want to stream again. I love streaming, and I don't want anyone to think I don't, because streaming is definitely my passion, and hanging out with you guys is the best thing in my life. So I want to be able to do it again in a healthy way. But yeah, my plan right now is to return to streaming. What was the date I decided? My plan is to start streaming again August 1st, which is a Tuesday. And I'm hoping that will give me time to sort out everything I want to change about my stream, about my life, sort out things that I've been letting kind of go to shambles around my living area, help move Mike in, and just get a bunch of things done that I haven't been getting done because I've been avoiding all my real life responsibilities leading up to the time that I went to the hospital. So I want to get a lot of things done that I've been needing to for a long time, and I want to resettle and reacclimate to my life. And I would also like to give my medication and therapy a chance, especially the medicine, to see if it starts working, and wait for it to kick in before I start back into my streaming routine again. So I know you guys have been so patient. I hope you can wait a little longer for the stream to return, and I hope you'll still be there to hang out with me when I get back, because I really can't wait to hang out with you guys again. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys where I've been in hopes that maybe it can help somebody else, because if you related to some of the things I've been saying, or if you know you have a problem, if you know that your mental health is not where it should be, and you're not feeling a way that's healthy, but you don't want to get help, or you don't have the motivation to get help, please just do it. You will not regret it, because I didn't want to get help either. I didn't think it was worth it, but I already feel so amazing, and so I have such a more positive outlook on life, and I feel so much happier now that I did something about it, and that I have a plan to get better. So please, please do something. Don't try to manage your own mental illness, because it's really hard. You can't manage it on your own. I tried to manage it on my own, and it got me in a very dark place, and I don't want any of you to have to go or just stay in that dark place. So for me, please call somebody, make an appointment, talk to a professional, talk to your family, do something to get some help, so you don't have to manage your mental illness alone. And yeah, I'll be around social media more now. I'm going to be returning to that, and I'm excited to talk to you guys again. But thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you will see more YouTube videos from me in the near future. I'd like to get back into YouTube again. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. Bye everybody.